She's here to talk about her second poetry book, Loves of Our Lives. Please welcome to this social broadcaster, poet, and New York Times bestselling author, Josie Balka.
Good to have you here. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. Josie, we said off the top there, your videos have garnered literally hundreds of millions of views. From your perspective, what do you think it is that's drawing people in?
I think because I write things really simply. In school, I always struggled with like science and math, and I know how it feels to just not understand things even though you really want to. So my rule for myself when I'm writing is write it so simply put that even if somebody hasn't been through it, they'd be able to have empathy toward it.
Oh, wow.
And just, write things in a way that anybody would understand. You don't leave going, can I interpret that in another way? You're just like, oh, I know exactly what she was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually, prior to taking off on social media, you hosted a radio show for a number of years, and that is the reason that you actually built this studio that we see you recording in your basement.
Yeah.
So walk us through what happened.
Yeah, I was on a radio show up until this past November, and because I loved doing voiceover and stuff, I decided to build a voiceover booth in the basement guest room closet, which is actually the best room in our house, so I took it over. But it's been great. Like, obviously, I started out doing voiceovers in this little closet, and then I decided one day that I was gonna maybe read a poem that I'd written and put it out there. But it's cool because I was able to set up a little piano in there as well, so I'm able to like play all the music behind my poetry too.
Wow.
So it's cool to just kind of produce the whole thing, and it makes me feel like I still have a job.
You kind of touched on your approach to writing poetry, but I'm wondering, when you're sitting down to write, do you consider the audience? Are you thinking about where it's coming from you? What's your whole process?
I feel like sometimes it's a bit of a detriment how much I consider the audience because I just want people to like what I'm writing. And the more people that are listening and reading, the more I care about them liking it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're trying too hard to impress people, it doesn't go the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to actually consider the audience less, if possible. But it's hard not to because there's just so many eyes, you know?
Of course, of course. Well, can we talk about this beautiful book? Each chapter corresponds to a different type of love, like romantic love, lost love, family love, friendship love. But which of those chapters was the most difficult for you to write?
Probably relationship love. I'm married. I just got married. So my husband's probably like, thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Probably not great for him to hear that I have trouble writing about him, but I think when you're in a good relationship, it's like very calm and kind of boring in a really good way, where it's not very frantic. It's like you wouldn't remember not burning yourself while you were cooking, but you'd remember the one time that you did.
Yeah.
So like, because every day with him feels like pretty calm for the most part, I usually like to write about like lost love or toxic love or like a love that didn't work out, because that feels easier. Family love, stuff like that. But the relationship love is kind of hard to land on because it's hard to get really deeply emotional about it, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. So you recently got married, and you met your husband, as you just mentioned, but you met your husband through Hinge. Through Hinge. So what was the prompt that actually got you?
I don't remember the actual prompt, but he was hanging out with his friends at the time, and one of his friends was dating a girl. He's married to her now, but she knew me from listening to the radio, and she knew that I was talking about Taylor Swift all the time. And my husband's name is Steven, and there's a Taylor Swift song called Hey Steven. So she told him to like make a reference to that Taylor Swift song when he messaged me the first time. And I was like, oh, a Taylor Swift fan. So that started the conversation back and forth. And he also referenced the Blink-182 song called Josie, which was also funny. So it was really like a musical kind of conversation that started it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you know, we actually talked about your wedding here on the show. So let's take a look back at that.
Well, listen, imagine you're getting married this weekend, but as we know, the Jays are playing in the World Series this weekend. So one Toronto bride-to-be is facing this very dilemma. Look at this.
Should I have the Jays game playing at my wedding?
Yes.
I get married on Saturday. It's going to be game 2 of the World Series, and half the guests at the wedding are from Toronto.
And then the rest of us are Canadian.
So the question is, I mean, you heard the question, should the bride play the Jays game at her wedding?
Back then. So did you play the game at your wedding?
Well, it was funny because that guy in the video is actually my co-host at the time. It's not even my husband. So that video was going around on the internet, and everyone's like, this couple. And I was like, no, that's not him. But no, we didn't. Our MC had like a little bit where she wore a Jays jersey, and she's like, guys, that's not what this night's about. She like slowly kind of put it on. But no, we didn't.
You didn't.
People were watching it on their phone.
I was saying, like, did you catch anybody watching the game on their
So
phone?
many.
Were you giving score
Okay.
updates? Score updates?
They lost that night. So I think that we didn't want to bring the vibe down.
Smart.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josie, you just touched on it a little bit, but what's it like talking about past loves, especially because you're now in a new, healthy relationship?
I started to get really self-conscious about it as soon as I started like publicly online planning our wedding, because I'd be like, what venue should we do? And then, oh my God, I was so in love with this guy 10 years ago and it didn't work out. So it was really interesting when comments started to flow in, like, how do you think your husband feels? And I was like, I know how my husband feels. He loves what I write and he loves reading it and he's very supportive. Sometimes if it's over the top angry, he's like, are you okay? Like, are you gonna get over this? But I will say, I did get a message once that really resonated with me from a woman who was 78 or 79 years old. And she said, I still think about the people that I dated in my 20s. And I wonder about them, and I like ruminate on the ones that didn't work out, so I understand why you do this. And I was like, I'm still gonna be thinking about this when I'm 78?
That's depressing.
That's what, but also like, it's so interesting. People just don't ever get over stuff. And if I feel like if you've never gotten over anything, you'll really like my book.
Or it also just proves that love never ages.
Exactly. Exactly.
Josie, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being so great about us talking about you on this show.
Oh my gosh. I love it. It's my favorite.
All right, the book is called Loves of Our Lives. It is out right now, but studio audience, lucky you, very lucky you, you're going home with your copy today.